Hey guys, it's Josh, and welcome back to the Not So Bad Bachelor Pad, your favorite podcast for learning how to balance between being a functional adult and a raging dumpster fire. Joining me today inside the Bachelor Pad is Amita Sharma. Amita, thank you so much for making time for us today. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself? How did you end up in this women's health space?
Yeah, quite honestly, I don't know myself, but I started off with architecture. I studied architecture, I should say that. Hopped over different professions and went into the technology part of it. And then, working in high tech, it was perimenopausal, didn't understand it at that time. Started applying some of the holistic therapies, researching into it a little bit more, then realizing how underserved and under-researched women's wellness is. And then I said, okay, let me just, try to dig a little bit deeper, dig my heels a little bit deeper. And before I knew it, I started digging, and here I am.
I am sure so many women are thankful for the work that you have been doing because you're right. It is something that you don't hear a lot about, especially in the workplace, but it's still something that I have felt for years is something that we need to talk about. Women's wellness as a whole, from childbirth to this, there's so many facets that we, as a society, don't really cater to or give the respect that it needs. So I'm glad that somebody is finally waking us up from our antiquated ways. So one of the biggest things that I noticed that a lot of, well, you can tell me more about it because I'm not too familiar. So when did you first discover that, not that there was a void here, but what made this so personal to
As I mentioned, I started having these perimenopause symptoms at workplace, and I did not understand what was going on. Here, I'm a woman beyond my reproductive years, right? And then suddenly I thought I'm done. I'm pretty good. I'm healthy and all that. And suddenly all these symptoms started bombarding on me, and I did not understand at the workplace. And quite honestly, I did not know where to go and turn to for advice, for resources, because you know how women are
Mhm.
kind of a bit like, oh, I don't want people to know that I'm having problems or judge my age, right? Women have that in their mind, right? They don't want to be judged because of the possible age discrimination, right? Because a lot of women
Right.
feel that at workplace. There's actually research that has been done. 46% of the women feel that age discrimination is is real. So all these factors, I had a very terrible time trying to manage my symptoms, and they were quite apparent at workplace. At the time, I did not think much of it, but then as time progressed, I started researching more into it and find a lot of correlation of these hormonal imbalances towards not only the physical aspect of it, but also emotional, mental, relationships, right? A lot of great divorces happening all around the world. Women are at this age group, there's 60% of them go through divorce who are at this age group. So there's not just one thing that we are, yeah, it's believe it or not, it's true. So there's not just one thing that media tells, oh, are you having hot flashes, you're in menopause, right? Or perimenopause. That's not the only thing. Menopause, perimenopause is not only about hot flashes, it's about your entire life. In fact, men also can get impacted because if their partner or spouse is having these issues and the communication is not open, there is going to be an impact on the relationships as well, right? That is
Right.
just a fact.
Which completely makes sense. I always say that nothing happens in isolation, and this is no exception. Uh, like you said, don't may not suffer directly from symptoms, but anybody who believes in being a good partner, which we all do here on the show, greatly can empathize with seeing their partner go through the flashes, the imbalances in their system. In the work front, you're right. It's a little different. Nobody's there to support. Um,
Yep.
like a little booklet leaflet they hand out, like they do for. So I could see how this could cause a lot of turbulence in somebody's life.
Yeah, it's not commonly supported at all at workplace. Like you are, actually the menopausal age women is the fastest growing at workplace in United States and in UK. That is also a statistics, right? So in UK, what is happening is now, we had elections and there's a new party, as we know, in UK Prime Minister. They are going to support women in these years. This is going to be in the law, actually, to support women at workplace in UK. That's what they're working on now, but in US is far behind still. We don't support women over
Yeah.
beyond the reproductive years, like 35 and above or 40 and above for that matter. And the thing is, the impacts we talked about, the hormonal imbalance, but more than that, lack of care, a lack of just resources during these perimenopausal menopausal years could have an impact on rise of chronic conditions amongst women when they're over 55 and above. They're postmenopausal.
I mean, there's so many other issues that we have to deal with. Adding this to it seems cumbersome at times. What were some ways that kind of helped you alleviate your symptoms or start to find a groove again in your every?
Yeah, so I had to change my entire lifestyle. I had to make a lot of modifications to my diet, to my exercise routine. I started taking holistic therapies like Ayurveda, yoga, breathing, pranayama, meditation, a little bit of a meditation, I would say that, and focus on food as medicine, exercise, movement as medicine, taking aromatherapy, all these things, right? So I embraced. Initially, it was slow embrace because changing habits, as you know, is difficult. We are used to eating something, and then suddenly you're changing to plant-based diet, no, very less meat, all those things, right? It takes time, but that is what helped me by making all these modifications to my lifestyle, and that helped me navigate this journey, not only actually thrive in this journey. Earlier I used to have problems in gaining weight. I could not let go of weight. You can have a lot of women in the 40s, if you ask them, I said, oh my God, I breathe and I put on weight, right? Women joke about it. It's it's like, one of my friends, she was saying, oh my God, I was sleeping and one day I woke up and there I was 20 pounds heavier. I don't know what the heck happened overnight. And that's what women tend on putting on a lot of weight. So a lot of things is what I'm saying is, by embracing holistic therapies, a holistic lifestyle, I have been able to manage my life much, and with evidence, much better way than I would have if when I was in my 30s.
That's kind of the goal that we hope for. We go through things and can educate the next generation or others so that they don't have to struggle as much as we did.
Yes.
But you're right. We also a lesson that no matter how many times somebody tells us, we also have to learn for ourselves is when you get older, you can't do the same things you did when you were younger, or your body doesn't respond to the same stimulus as you did when you were in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s. I'm glad that you were able to find a more holistic approach that was effective for you and alleviating
Mhm.
your symptoms. Besides that, I know you do a lot of breath work along with
Mhm.
your change in diet. There are some specific breathing you've shown your clients or people you help, like I said, just keep you in a state of flow.
Yeah, absolutely. So breathing is very powerful. In fact, there's a lot of research that people can find, on PubMed, how breathing can help calm your nervous system. So, as I said earlier, a mental health anxiety comes with this whole perimenopause journey, even beyond menopause journey. So, breathing is, having some breathing techniques. For example, alternate nostril breathing. So, what you do is you put your thumb and you close one of the nostrils here, and you breathe like that, and then you go like this and you breathe out. So you go like this, breathe
Oh,
in, breathe out, right? So that's one of the
okay.
techniques. And other one is B breath. What you do is you take your thumb, you put your, like, close your ears and you close your eyes and you chant Om. And you chant Om, like you can chant, yeah, like that. Try chanting with me. So you'll help.
Mm. Oh,
help you
you do.
calm
I do
down,
kind of feel
right?
that like relief, the
Hmm.
tension kind of just
The tension release,
releases right
right?
there.
So B breath is called B
Mm.
breath pranayama. The other one for women, who are suffering from hot flashes is called Shitli or Shitkari pranayama. What they're doing is you roll your tongue and you roll it. I'm not very good at it. And then you breathe through your tongue like that, like that. So it helps you cool down. Try it.
That I was like that. Yeah, that I've never. So I'm not good with my tongue either. Like and
Yes.
then is it so it's the rolling of the tongue and then the deep, like just a deep
Hmm.
breath in.
Yeah, deep breathing like that.
Ooh.
It's
Yeah,
a
I
bit of
mean,
a
I was like,
tongue twister
I was like, yeah, I was like, when you don't
like
get it at
that.
first, sometimes you feel silly, but you just have to push through it and keep practicing,
Hmm.
especially if it's something that really helps. Yeah.
Hot flashes, this also has
Okay, so
a thing. So these are some of the breath techniques people women can do. And then there is yoga nidra. Yoga nidra is nothing but you lie down. It's sort of like a guided meditation that kind of walks you through it, helps you calm down as well.
mm,
So there are so many breathing techniques. So these are just the three breathing techniques that I have just shared. In addition to breathing techniques, you can also do some yoga, right? Yoga postures, yoga asanas. Now, yoga asanas can be sometimes difficult for some people, but if you can't, even qigong and tai chi, which is not that difficult, which is just movement, simple movement, that also helps women, with the managing menopausal, perimenopausal symptoms. So there's a lot of research on all this, what I'm talking about, on qigong, on the tai chi, on yoga, certain yoga postures. Yoga is a grounding exercise. Then pranayama, we talked about that. Pranayama is breath work, a simple meditation. Chanting Om 100 times can help you calm down. We did tried that. And then yeah, and even sound healing, sound baths. Just the sound baths, those can help you. So these are all calming techniques that helps you calm down from an emotional point of view, right? And then there's the dietary
right.
modifications that right, you can do. In addition to yoga and pranayama, you can also do some weight bearing exercises, because you need resistance training during this time of your life, because of the bone mass starts going down for all of us after the age of 30.
It's always nice when there are convenient methods that we can use to help, like I said, just ground us. Movement in the body is super important, no matter what age you are, what you're going through. Just moving that energy around, moving your body, finding ways to stay calm and grounded. If you can find convenient ways to do that that you can do in your everyday life, whether you're just taking a quick break at work or
Mhm.
you're out and about, I that's massive. That's huge.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
hopefully anybody watching this today, especially, you can take some of these tools that Amita is showing us.
Absolutely. So, in addition, there are other tools that I'm happy to share for another couple of minutes. Is aromatherapy, is some of the essential oils that can help us calm down.
Mm,
Then, in addition to that, acupressure. There's some of the acupressure points. Acupuncture. We
your
are
body, yeah.
familiar with that. So, tapping on some of these points, which is they call it a release again, EFT, or even pressing some of the acupressure points, that can also help you calm down with anxiety, with all these other mental health issues. Acupuncture also can help you, and then even some herbs and
Yeah.
supplements and medicated oil
Yeah.
massage can help you.
I was literally just talking about that today with one of my coworkers who is currently experiencing in her postmenopausal stage, and she was like, I was never a massage person until this happened, and she was like,
Hmm.
it just really helps me because she gets anxious. There's a lot of anxiety there, and she's like, release that. So
Hmm.
massage.
Yes, massage with medicated oils, even head massage, right? If you take your
The
hair,
scalp, yeah,
like oil, warm it up a
cranium.
little bit, lukewarm, and then massage your head once a week or twice a week. I do that at least twice a week. Massage my head, and it helps, just put my head over there, helps me calm down. The other thing
Good.
is putting oil in your nostrils can help you as well, believe it or not. It's called nasya. So you take a little bit of a nose oil, this is called nausea, and you put it here. That helps the entire mental health systems. So there are a lot of therapies, is what I'm saying. It's which is difficult for us to cover in such a short time, but
Right.
women can embrace all that.
I think she's giving us a lot of great tools here, stuff that's super applicable that I'm just saying they're low maintenance. That's a better word. They're low
Hmm.
maintenance ways
Hmm.
to alleviate our stress load. Like I said, I never would have thought about the oil in the nostril, but you're right. I mean, because when you breathe in, breath is so important to the body. Breathing in those calming oils or whatever help could easily, I could see how it could help the sinus pressure everywhere. So that's like I said, that's something you can do without anybody noticing while you're at work. I mean, as many
Hmm.
times as people put lotion on or reapply makeup or the little things that we do, I was like, you could easily incorporate that
Hmm.
into lives.
Absolutely, like some fragrant oil, or with non-fragrance, so that if the smell bothers a few people, there are a lot of
Hmm.
options now that are available. I mean, that's what I do. I'm just
Yeah,
sharing with you what I started doing, so to help me thrive during this phase of my life.
and that's what we love. We like tried and true, tested bits of
Yeah.
advice. We don't like some theory that is
Hmm.
sounds nice. We like to actually know something that's worked for you,
Hmm.
so that all the listeners and watchers can try as well. Now, people go to work with you. Do they usually just how do you do your programs? What does a typical session with you look like?
So I am not a medical doctor. What I have done is
Right.
I have interviewed over 3,000, 4,000 holistic experts and brought them into a platform called Nourish Talk, and it's basically a
Oh, nice.
holistic wellness platform. So that is what we are trying to do, is make this platform available to every woman in the world and make it super
Hmm.
affordable. So that's really the intention. I don't want this to be cost prohibitive for women. Like, oh my God, it cost me $800 to have a session or whatever, right? Because the one-on-one sessions can be very expensive. They can run anywhere from $200 starting to all the way to thousands of dollars before the woman knows what is going on with her body. So we've distilled all this information, the entire information that I'm talking about. Not that it's not available on Google, but we've distilled it and put it, kind of pieced it together and curated it in a way that it's a self-care kind of techniques that we are giving to women based on whether they're perimenopausal or postmenopausal, and after that what kind of symptoms they have, so they can go through this whole journey of this programs, self-care, which I just shared with you a little bit, to help themselves.
Good. We do say that wellness shouldn't be a luxury.
Hmm.
I was like, it's so hard to, especially here in the States. Healthcare is becoming so exclusive or minute because it's not everybody can afford it. So
Yes.
I love that you are this database, this hub where people can come at a reasonable price, tips that could potentially prevent them from developing these chronic issues. I love that we shared the breath work. I love that you just educated us in how you got into this space. Now, these I don't want you to think too hard about them, but they do get a little more introspective as we go along. So hopefully you have as much fun as answering the questions as I have asking them.
Okay.
One of my favorite questions I've really liked asking this season is, what is one of your favorite ways to express intimacy? Since we deal with a lot with relationships.
Well, you're talking about the physical. Like, I like to hug people in the sense, because I think that's a very hugging can help you. Hugging yourself also can help you. But intimacy, for me, like if someone is my dear friend, I always like to hug. So that's from a physical point of view, showing that hugging people is one way that I show intimacy to another person if I know them.
Hugs are underrated, I feel like, at times, because they can fix so many issues that you're having, or they're
Hmm.
just another way, just like I said, to release that tension. when somebody you really do have a connection with, or you might not have a super deep connection with them, but you just empathize with somebody, and
Mm-hmm.
that little embrace can have such a massive impact.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that. And the next question that I have for you is, I'm surprised I didn't ask this at the start. I mean, the name of the show is the Not So Bad Bachelor Pad. Now, are you unpartnered?
But
What's your current?
well, it's funny. Yes, no,
I
I love the name of your show, Not So Bachelor Pad, and I wasn't sure if what I'm doing fits into your criteria of what you are doing. But yes, I am partnered. You asked me if I'm in. Yes, I have a partner. Yes.
I mean, listen, we live in such a fluid day and age where you never
Hmm.
know some people's relationship status. But we also love here. So we're hoping, we hope that, or at least I hope that everybody's listening can at some
Yes.
point in time retire the Bachelor or Bachelorette jersey and I will
Connect
really
with.
enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's
Yes.
important to have relationships. We were talking about it. It's important to be in relationship. That's my feedback. That's my opinion, because I think you share so
Hmm.
much with your partner or with your spouse or whoever. You can be a single, I'm not saying, and have fun, but at some point in your life, it's nice to be sharing your life with someone special. So that's something that I am lucky to be in a relationship.
If you could share one bit of advice with your younger self, what would that
Hmm.
be?
Oh my God. I would share to be more self confident and believing in yourself. I
Okay.
think when I was much younger, I did not believe in myself enough. I always looked for someone else to say that what who I am okay, or I was just looking for all the time like some kind of a judgment from other people, or some kind of a what you call
That
is
acceptance. Yeah.
not, yeah, acceptance, or what the right word is in here. Acceptance, no, not really. Always looking for, yes, you're doing the right thing, looking for some kind of,
Approval, the
okay,
gratification. I see. I understand.
approval,
Yeah.
gratification from other people. Not believing, we're always looking for other people to really influence, right, or how we are thinking. And that's what I, in my young age, did not believe enough on myself, and always looked on other people to tell me whether I'm good or bad. And that's, I think, the
Yeah.
single most mistake a lot of young people do. They're always looking for other people's acceptance, others people approvals, base that base themselves, their decision, based on what others
Mhm.
think. And that is, I think, what I did. And I wish I had just used my investing in myself and my brain more than relying on others to tell me what to do.
I think that's also something that a lot of people come to the realization of as they get older, is that
Yes.
I need to be gratified by anybody but myself.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I would say your people are your people. So if you can't be your authentic self with the people that you're around, then they're
Yes.
not your people.
And sometimes
Okay.
these are very close relationships. What do you do? And that's what has happened with me, is that you're trying to gratify someone very close in relation to you, but they're not thinking about gratifying you, right? So
Yes.
it's always conflict, and that's what I faced. Is that I'm trying to please so many other people, but they're not thinking about me, or pleasing me, or forget about pleasing me, but they're always trying to undermine, right? Undermine me. So that is a conflict all the time, and can be a toxic relationship. And at that time, it happens to a lot of young people that are always trying to please others. You have to learn to please yourself, and then you can be in harmony with yourself on who you are, not finding fault with yourself. And that's what I think a lot of young people end up doing. And I did the same thing. I'm you know always looking down into myself and saying, oh my, there must be something wrong with
Yeah.
me. Oh my God, I'm not that. I'm trying to please this person, and that person is never getting pleased. In fact, he's finding faults in me. So this
Yeah.
whole this thing of emotion roller coaster ride keeps getting into your head. It doesn't come out.
Like I said, that's a lesson that I feel like no matter how many times somebody else tells you, whether it's a parent, a friend, a
Hmm.
sibling, until you live it enough, until you finally crash into that wall and be like, what am I doing here? You'll continue to
Yes.
do that. To our previous selves, to the younger audience who's listening, hopefully you take what we say with more than a grain of salt and you give yourself the grace and you start living your authentic life, being the person that makes you happy.
It's very important. Yes,
All
I
right, Amita.
realized it later
Yes.
in my life. I wish I didn't have the courage. I should say that confidence and the courage to accept it when I was
Mhm.
younger, to really be who I am and not try to please the other person all the time, but trying to please myself.
Well, guys, I was like, I think that's what I have for you today. I was like, we have a huge wealth of information that Amita just broke the surface with today. But before we do, tell us again where we can find more information for people who are going through peri and postmenopausal symptoms, or for people who partners or family members.
Yeah, absolutely. People can go to our website, www.nourishtalk.com, and we are releasing an app within the month of July. So it's, like I said earlier, super affordable. We love your feedback, and download the app. We're going to have some free trials. So it's only focused on women at this time, not men. Women over 35. I highly encourage you to understand what perimenopause is so that you're prepared when it hits you. Maybe in when you're inching 40 or something like that. For other women who are going through perimenopause and have symptoms, we have all the programs, over 20 plus programs that women can navigate through based on what they're going through. And then for postmenopausal women, which is after the menopause, we have also programs for them. So it's nourishtalk.com.
All right, gals, all right, my ladies. You heard that there are 20 plus programs for you for the people who are experiencing the perimenopause, and even more for people in post menopause. So definitely look in the link below. I'm going to make sure that I include the website, and probably by the time this airs, the app should be available too. So wherever you go get your apps, go ahead as well. And like I said, just start preparing yourself. Or if you're already in the midst of it, tap in to help alleviate your symptoms. You're not alone. This is something that a lot of women are experiencing alongside you. So find a sense of community and information, and hopefully we can help you out here. Okay. Alrighty.
Thank you.
Amita, once again, thank you so much for spending time with us today. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of the Not So Bad Bachelor Pad. I will see all you amazing bachelors and bachelorettes and potentially partnered people next week for another episode. Until then,